Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles. I'm Jen Hale here with Drip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, and a very special early Christmas present for all of you, courtesy of Oscar winner, Grammy winner, actor-singer Jamie Foxx. Oh. You're going to like this one, Shannon. Get ready. He had a little fun moment with you and how you debate Skip. He put it out yesterday. Take a look.
Hey! I ran into Shannon Sharpe. I saw him yesterday. He was clowning on my Cowboys. But every time I see Shannon, I just go skip. No, skip. That ain't what it was. Skip. That ain't what it was, Skip. No, skip.
That is pretty awesome. Shannon, what was that?
Actually, we ran into each other last week. Skip was at my agent's office, and he was in a meeting, and he came out, and we started talking and carrying on. But he's a diehard Cowboy. Diehard. Crazy. But when I see him again, I'm going to run up on him, Skip.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to run up on him.
Well, I think you might not have a chance to run up on him anytime soon. He might run up on you at the Super Bowl because the Cowboys just might show up.
They ain't going to be there.
Super Bowl.
They won't be there. Well, he won't be there.
If they show up, he will definitely show up at the Super Bowl.
Well, he won't be at the Super Bowl then, Skip. I'm sorry.
So,
I tell you.
I know.
That was good. That was a good impersonation, though.
It was really good, and I know exactly how Jamie was feeling because I get that every day. Skip.
That ain't what it was, Skip. That's not how it happened.
Well, we have a packed show today. Did Giannis prove he's the best player in the NBA last night with his win over LeBron? Plus, a very special guest later in the show. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Skip's wife, Ernestine, stops by to talk about Skip and this roller coaster of a Cowboy season.
Yep.
How does she put up with you? But first, we are breaking down the Cowboys showdown with Sunday with the Eagles. Dak Prescott has remained limited in practice this week, struggling with a sprained AC joint in that throwing shoulder. Now, the QB does say he's going to be good to go by Sunday against Philly, and Jerry Jones says he expects Dak to be in, quote, top form. Following the news about Dak's shoulder, the Cowboys have become less of a favorite each and every day. Dak reportedly scheduled to throw today at practice, though, so we'll see if that changes things. Shannon, who you got? Who wins?
Skip, I'll make no bones about this. I am picking this game with my heart instead of my head because by all indications, the Cowboys should win this. Cowboys are the better team. They're the healthier of the teams. I understand
They are?
Yeah, I get that Dak had the sprained AC joint, but Skip, look, we've seen what the Eagles have been dealing with the last couple of weeks. I'm going to take the Eagles in a close ball game. I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to say the Eagles win 24-20. And I said the game's going to be close. Either the Eagles going to win a close ball game or the Cowboys are going to blow them out the water. But the thing that the Eagles need to do, Skip, is get this game to the fourth quarter and have it close. The Cowboys have only won one game by one score, and that was Detroit. You look at all the other games that they've lost, the one-score games that they won last year, Skip. Remember, they were unbelievable in one-score games.
The script got completely flipped.
It did. And so this is what we know about the Cowboys. They're front runners. If they get on the lead, and the Eagles know well enough, because the first time they played them in Jerry's world, the quick two turnovers, they went 14-0. The next thing you know, they were cruising to a 37-10 final score. Wentz has been unbelievable in the last two ball games.
He has.
Last week, he was 11-11, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. The Eagles need to cash in the red zone, Skip. They've been very good in the red zone. Last 3 weeks, 13 red zone drives, 10 touchdowns.
Yep.
They will definitely need to do that again. And so, because this is the way they're going to have to win this game. If they can get ahead, this is what we've seen from the Cowboys. If the Eagles can get ahead, the Cowboys will abandon the run. And that was really their best way to beat the Cowboys because they're going to have to sell out. I believe they're going to have to sell out to stop the run because I don't believe they can play a seven-man front and says, okay, guys, you guys gobble Zeke up. We're going to need these back guys to be in coverage. They're going to have to sell out. Well, when you sell out, that means the secondary is going to be one-on-one. Amari Cooper feasts on Eagles. He loves Eagles. I guess it's a delicacy of somewhere down in, he's from Florida, so I wouldn't go say Alabama, but Florida, I guess Eagles are delicacy because he's been feasting on them ever since he's been in Dallas. He's had his best games against the Eagles. And the Eagles secondary leaves a lot to be desired.
True.
Darby has not been very good. He has not been the same corner since he came off that ACL injury. So with that being said, I know I should pick the Cowboys, but my heart won't let me because I said at the beginning of the season, they weren't going to make the playoffs, and I'm going to stand by that. So I'm going to take the Eagles in a close ball game, Skip. I'm going to say they win 24-20.
Okay, I appreciate that objectivity, and I appreciate that you just threw it right out in the middle of the table, that it's heart over head on your part.
Yep.
But you have told me all week long, Dak Prescott is not hurt. Are you standing by that?
He's not hurt like you was leading us to believe. Like, man, Dak was the man. I don't know how I don't even know how Dak made it out of bed this morning with the arm. Stop it. He's not hurt to the extent that you want people to believe because you want him to be like hero. You want Dak to have a Kirk Gibson moment. That's what you want, and it's not going to be that because he's not that hurt.
I just want Dak to be completely healthy for Sunday, and I do not believe he remotely is.
Nobody is completely healthy at this time of year. You know that.
Blah, 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 blah. I cannot tell you how much I hope you are correct that we are exaggerating the level of contusion in his shoulder because I believe it's more contusion than an AC joint, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But look, I'm going to be honest back to you. I have told you all year long, my team is better than your team. The Cowboys are simply better than the Eagles on both sides of the ball. They have not consistently displayed that, but neither have the Eagles. No. So here we are, 7-7, playing for a playoff game.
Yep.
A lot of people have little to no respect for this game, and I don't care because I still believe in my team's capability, its firepower, its nuclear capability to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they have to prove that to me the way they did this past Sunday against the Rams. I told you this past Monday, finally I saw my team. It took 14 weeks to see my team, and I finally saw them. And I said, there it is, and there it could be. And I was so happy on Sunday night because I believed with all my heart and soul that my Cowboys would beat your Eagles and Carson Wentz this coming Sunday. I told you 1 week ago, sitting right here in this chair, I was adamant about it. I said, remember my first line to you? This is last Friday. I have an announcement to make. The Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Los Angeles Rams. I told you that, and they didn't just beat them. They beat them up, beat them down. I can't wait for our man Eric Dickerson, the Rambassador. He's going to join us here in just a few minutes. I think I passed him in the hall, but he might exit stage left because after he hears my spiel here this morning, he better bring it.
Yeah, he might Skype in.
44-21. That was a statement. And now this has happened. I have to hear about this shoulder. And I have to hear, this is just the facts now. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not trying to establish a pregame escape hatch in case my quarterback stinks it up. Because I don't believe if he's healthy, he will stink it up. I think Sunday is made for Dak Prescott if his shoulder is right, and I do not believe it's remotely right. He didn't throw a single pass on a Wednesday or a Thursday. There are reports he might try to throw today or a little bit tomorrow. But now I get to a report from Dr. David Chow, known as the Sports Doc. For 17 years, you might remember, he was the San Diego Chargers team doctor. And he really broke down after studying the tape of the injury. And now I do believe, after yesterday, I was skeptical about when the injury occurred. It did happen on that first running play.
Clay Matthews.
Yeah, it's the Clay Matthews play. It's a first down play on what became their first touchdown drive. And he ran the zone read keeper to the right, and Clay Matthews was laying for him all day because Wade Phillips says, we're not going to let Dak Prescott beat us running the football. And he did kind of outwit and outquick Clay a little bit and got an edge on him and got 7 yards, but then Clay came over the top of him. And Dr. Chow makes a very strong point, and it's really smart, that what happened on the play was Clay came over the top and Dak's right shoulder, it's the ball arm, right elbow, hit first, jamming the shoulder.
Right.
So he's saying this is not your typical AC joint sprain. This is a rotator cuff contusion. He said with the AC sprain, you're immediately hurt to the point you got to go to the blue tent.
Okay.
That you need an immediate injection to be able to continue to play in the football game. And that it becomes very difficult with a sprain to throw the football that day in that game. But you can bounce back very quickly the next week from that sprain. With the cuff bruise, you can't bounce back. You can tough through it on adrenaline that day, but then the bursa sac, I'm not going to get too medical technical, but you know this, swells.
Yes.
And so Monday, Tuesday, you're in big trouble because it's so swollen you can't even move your shoulder. So you'll have your MRI and it'll show no structural damage, but the AC joint would show a lot of negative on the MRI, but this one shows nothing except swelling. So I just believe that David Chow is correct, that they will try to let him throw a little bit after they give him a cortisone shot. What's the cortisone for? It's not to deaden, it's anti-inflammatory. It's to kill, to kill all the inflamed cells. So you take the cortisone, then you go out to the practice field and you try to work through the kinks of the cortisone shot, which is no fun to take. You've had them. I've had them.
I have.
I do not, because the
needle's about that long.
gauge of the needle is so
because
thick.
they got to wiggle it around, Skip. They got to get it as close to the area as they possibly can.
And cortisone is so thick to come through the tip of that needle that it is no fun. And then you got to try to work it around and see, can I throw a little bit over the top? I don't know. Now, here's my point about this game. You've talked all year about Ezekiel Elliott, that he's the driving force, says you. And if you're right about that, and they are forced to go to Zeke on Sunday, let's do this, 35 Zeke carries, and let's throw 15 more on top to Tony Pollard. What if they try to run it 50 times? I just don't think they can win that kind of a football game. The weather is going to be perfect for this time of year. It's a high of 46. It's a low of 27. So they're going to be playing virtually a night game. Kicks off at 4:30. 4:25. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that immediately the Eagles are going to be testing his arm because they're going to be daring him to throw the football.
Yeah, you should.
What if right away you see he's limited? Dr. Chow's conclusion is that he believes he will be severely limited throwing the football. What if they see right away he has no mid-range velocity and he can't throw anything deep at all, that everything has to be short, short, short? A lot of Jason Witten 3-yard passes, a lot of swing passes to Zeke or to Tony Pollard. If they see that, I'm sunk, and we will lose this game because I don't think Zeke can beat that front seven. What is Philly's weakness? You just said it. It's the back four, right? Yeah. In coverage, Pro Football Focus ranks Philly's back four, just what they call coverage, 23rd in the league. I think that's being nice. Right?
It's got to be.
Yeah, because a lot of times they look like the worst secondary to me.
They do.
So my point is, this game for me from the start was a Dak game. It's not a Zeke game, it's a Dak game. It's made to order for Dak Prescott. Perfect conditions, high of 46 in the afternoon, light wind, no precipitation. What more could you ask for on December 22nd in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? It's perfect, it's balmy. What did Dak do to this team last year in Philadelphia? Well, he threw for 270 yards and a touchdown as they shocked the Eagles and turned their season around in the first real big game with Amari after 1 week of practice. And then they came back to Jerry World. And remember what he did in that game? He threw for 455. This is Dak Prescott. And in the fourth quarter and overtime, he threw for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. Went 17 of 20. Why was that? Because your secondary is atrocious.
They are.
And Amari feasted. Okay? So I got it. Gallup will feast. Randall Cobb can feast. Everybody can feast. Blake Jarwin can feast. It's made to order for Dak Prescott. But if he can't throw, it's such a huge advantage to Philly because it plays right into, well, listen, what Dak does best, they do worse. They can't defend the pass.
Well, Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, Dak is somewhat limited. Well, Ezekiel Elliott is a nice second option if you believe that he is the second option and Dak is the first option. If Dak is a Ferrari, well, Zeke is a Bentley, which is not bad.
I give you that, and I totally respect that. And I think they're 1 and 1A.
Right.
I don't think it's like 1-2, 1 and 1A.
But the thing is, Skip, is that when you look at now, it was being reported that Arcega-Whiteside was limited in practice with a foot injury. So now they're already down D-Jack. They're already down Alshon. Lane Johnson probably isn't going to go. So you're relying on Greg Ward Jr. You're relying on Boston Scott. At some point in time, Skip, you're not going to win a whole bunch of games when you're relying on guys that started the season on the practice squad and you're in a game of this magnitude. There's a reason why you have these. Jerry got these stars. Jerry was upset. He's like, look at my stars. I'm paying these guys a king's ransom. I need to get more. Jerry was upset, not that he was losing the game. He says, I'm losing the game with stars. Well, WP doesn't have that right now. Most of his guys that he was going to be counting on. Now, I get it that Jordan Howard is coming back, but what can we expect, Skip? The guy's been away for a month and a half.
Okay, but I like Miles Sanders a lot, and I think they're liking him more and more. And Carson's getting more comfortable throwing to him also, because he threw that bullet up the sideline for a touchdown.
He's been great on screens. Miles Sanders has. He's run better between the tackles. He's shown us something. But, Skip, at some point in time, this is a talent league. This is a talent league. And right now, the Eagles are devoid of that on the offensive side of the football. They have it on the defensive side, but for whatever reason, they haven't played like we thought they would play. This is not the Eagles defense that I expected to see this year. Not with those guys, because they've had, granted, Malik Jackson went down early, but Malik Jackson wasn't there last year. I did not expect this defense to look this bad, but they look bad for whatever reason. And Carson Wentz has played unbelievable the last 2 weeks. He was 11-11 last week with 2 touchdowns. He had to be, or they're going to lose. Now, the one thing in a game of this magnitude that you can't do, what he's done over the course of this season, is put the ball in harm's way.
He has.
He's fumbled the ball an awful lot. In a game of this magnitude, when you're the lesser of the teams as far as talent-wise, the way you let them blow you out is that you give them extra possessions. Carson Wentz must take care of the football. I'm not saying Dougie P has to call the game cautious, but he must tell Carson, you got to protect the ball in the pocket. Skip, this one-handed, if you notice when he gets the ball knocked out of his hand in the pocket, he's got it like this.
He's lost a fumble in 5 straight games, and he lost what looked like a critical one at Washington last Sunday, and they overcame it because of his last drive.
Well, the thing is that this is Dak. That's not Dwayne Haskins. And he needs to what he needs to do this offseason is go study Tom Brady and study Breeze and see how they climb the pocket with both hands on the ball. You see how they roll their shoulders and get away from guys. They never take the second hand off the ball until they're ready to throw it. He has the ball running back. He's like LaShawn McCoy with the ball, got the ball carried like a loaf of bread, and it comes out. If you want to win this ball game, you got to take care of the football, Wentz, and you've got to play. Whatever you think your best game is, you're going to have to one-up it in this ball game.
Okay? So, if the Eagles dare Dak to throw it early, and they start to smell blood and figure he can't throw it, and they're able to start playing press coverage while loading the box against Zeke, if they can get at least 8, maybe 9 in the box, knowing them, there's no way Zeke can beat them by himself because they're too stout in the front 7. They got too much talent, led by Fletcher Cox, Pro Bowl again. You say he might have underachieved this year. He's not quite what he used to be. They're just too proud. They're playing at home. And remember, my team has beaten the Eagles 4 straight times. You don't think that sticks in their craw? At some point, they just rise up and say, you know what? Not in our house, not again. Right. Not again. If their quarterback can't throw, we're not going to let 21 just run it down our throats. Right. And I just don't think he can. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys can win a 17-10 kind of game with Zeke getting 35 carries.
Well, you better, because you got 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, and you're probably going to have comeback player of the year in Travis Frederick. So Jerry Jones says, hold on, I'm paying y'all the king's ransom. You're the highest paid. You're 3 of the highest paid at each of your respective positions. If we need to run the ball 40, 50 times, I need you to put both hands in the dirt if you need to, and I need you to move people against their will.
They're not good enough to do that.
Oh, come on,
They haven't been that good all year. You know it, and I know it. They rose up twice all year. I saw my offensive line dominate at New York Giants and against the Rams Sunday at home. That's the only.
Well, they better do. Well, they got to do it again. Well, Skip, they're going to have to dominate, even if it's not in the running game, because you got to protect Dak. You got to protect him. So, because the one thing that you don't want to have, Skip, is have somebody get to him and put him on the ground. That's the work. You talk about throwing the ball, it will hurt. Imagine landing on that shoulder, what it'll do.
I'm not worried about that because I think he's going to be throwing only 3-yard passes, so it'll be like 3-step drop routes with the ball will be gone in 1.5 seconds because he won't have enough arm to throw.
But that's not their offense. Their offense is not three-step drop.
That's going to be dramatically changed. So speaking of Jerry Jones, he said on his radio show yesterday, Dak's going to be just fine. I trust he's be 100%. Baloney. He's got a lot of LeVar Ball in him. Jerry, he tries to speak it into existence. Jerry Jones is simply the most optimistic, positive person I've ever been around. He's always looking at the glass as half full. It's the only way you can survive in the oil and gas business because you are going to swing and miss. And you got to say, it's okay, let's get him tomorrow.
Skip, you mentioned that he said this on how many days does he speak on his radio show?
I don't know.
Is it every day?
Sounds like 2. I know he does Tuesday and Thursday. Must be.
I mean, Jerry.
Knowing Jerry, by now he's probably got four radio shows.
Because you remember the other day that he was a little hostile. Jerry said, I ain't up for no bull job today.
Okay, so the truth is, I'm just telling you in my heart, I don't love this game for my team. I don't think my quarterback will be remotely right. And I don't think they can win a low-scoring game. But I'll go with my heart again, and I'll say if Dak is even 80% of Dak, I think we can jump ahead. And the one great thing about playing at Philadelphia, and I've covered many a game at Philly, is that those fans are as quick to boo as they are to cheer.
Oh, you counting on the fans turning on them.
They will, because they once booed Santa Claus. This is way back in 1968 at a game. They threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Good, he didn't bring no gifts. They should have booed him.
All right, so here we go. So if we could have any kind of repeat of the way the game started at Jerry World on October 27th, I'll be good to go, because they will turn on that team because they've been as down on their team as I've been on my team much of the year, because their team went down to Miami and laid a big egg down there on South Beach, right?
We shouldn't be surprised by that. The Patriots got booed a couple of weeks ago. After all they've done, they've just gone to the AFC Championship game every year since 2010.
These are really, this is...
Oh, yeah, we would.
This is the city of brotherly shoves.
At least the Patriot fans waited to halftime and they were running off the field.
They did.
The Eagles fans will wait till the Eagles get on the field to start booing.
So I'm just going straight with my heart, too. I'll say Dak's reasonably okay. They jump out to a lead, and they hang on 24-21. And,
we're close. We just went opposite directions.
You know, almost every week, and I don't know what your score is going to be, we almost every week reverse the score almost exactly. So we're real close to reversing the score.
Yep.
So here we go. Do or die, sink or swim. This is it.
I'm thinking your field goal kicker going to miss a PAT or something.
No. Kai Forbath, I believe in Kai. We got this.
Oh, yeah, you believe in him kicking the ball out of bounds twice? Giving a short field? I appreciate that.
I saw 3 for 3 field goals, and I'll take that any day.
Keep starting us at the 40.
Yep. Okay. I'll bet he doesn't kick any out of bounds. He's been around. He's been good. For the Redskins for a while, he was really good. Yeah, we're good.
A little
we're
bit
good
of time
to go
with
there.
the Saints as well.
That's true. He did.
No mercy.
Last night, the Greek Freak was just too much for LeBron and a returning Anthony Davis to handle. Giannis putting up 34 points, pulling down 11 boards, but he truly stole the show with his career-high 5 three-pointers on only 8 attempts from downtown. Wow. LeBron finished with his 7th triple-double of the season, and AD recorded a game-high 36 points to go along with 10 rebounds. This is the first back-to-back set of losses for the Lakers this season, though. Shannon, weigh in. What was the difference here last night?
Well, Skip, and look, when we discuss the Lakers, I always put 2 things on the board: guard the 3 and turnovers. And what didn't they do last night? Guard the 3, and what did they do? The Bucks had 14 steals. I don't know if I've ever heard of a team having 14 steals in a game, Skip. You know, sometimes you dribble them. 14 steals? Now, they're a long, long team. They're gonna challenge everything. You got the 2 Lopez's, you got Giannis, you got Chris Middleton, Wesley Matthews, a 3-and-D guy. He's to play D, shoot threes. Brooke Lopez, guard the paint, shoot threes.
Yep.
They even got Robert Lopez coming in jacking up threes now. But Skip, you can't turn the ball over like this. Now, Frank Vogel has been ringing the warning sign. There's been an amber, we keep turning the ball over like this. We're heading to a dangerous territory, and they keep turning the ball over. LeBron, and then look, I understand that LeBron handles the ball so much, so he's going to turn the ball over. But he had 2 crucial turnovers late in the ball game, the final 2 minutes of the ball game. I thought he took a 3 a little early. It was in transition, and he took a 3 that he didn't necessarily need to take. Okay, but until the Lakers decide to say, you know what, we're going to guard the 3, and we're going to limit the turnovers, it's going to be a problem for them. They're going to make a lot of games tougher on themselves than what it needs to be. Skip, the first quarter, AD and LeBron was 1 for 11, and they were only down 6 points. What I would also like to see is that when AD is struggling, I would like to see LeBron become a little more assertive. What he's doing is that when AD is struggling, he's still trying to get him the ball to let him get out of it by shooting his way out of it. But LeBron in this, if you noticed last night, we're going to talk about this, Skip, you look at James Harden was struggling. Russ like, well, I got to go. I got to keep it going until James get going. He'll figure it out, and that's what I need Bron to do. I need Bron to be a little more assertive because I believe even though Giannis had a career night shooting the 3 ball, and if he starts making that, he's going to be unguardable because you're talking about a guard that can take 2 dribbles and be at the rim. So he's going to be unguardable if he can hit that. And AD was, playing off. LeBron backed up and he airballed the first one and he comes back.
This is the second one he shot. Second one, then he came right back.
Came back from 3 feet behind the 3-point line and nailed it. But they could have overcome that if they did a better job of taking care of the basketball. Skip, it's going to be hard to beat these team like, and people look, well, Milwaukee don't have, no. They have a king bee and they have worker bees that understands their role. Everybody, Chris Middleton understands his role, Wesley Matthews, DiVincenzo, Bledsoe was not there last night, but everybody understands their role. Budenholzer, Coach Bud has done a great job of integrating these guys and says, okay, we're going to run everything through Giannis. This is your job. This is your job. But I'm not concerned about the Lakers. The only thing that concerns me, I thought they played well. I thought they shot the free throw well. LeBron didn't go to the free throw line much last night, but he was 2 for 2. He's shooting a career low in attempts and makes. Hey, we'll talk about that another story. But look, Lakers, take care of the basketball, guard the 3, and in the next 24 games, Skip, we probably be 19-5.
Well, you're kind of tempering that a little. I thought you'd go to like 23-1.
Okay, how about 20-4?
Okay. I think you're losing a little faith after the last 2 games.
As a matter of fact, who's the best? Hold on. Who got the best record? Clear in the Western Conference. Be us. It'll be us.
Well, you can talk about us all you want. I'm going to talk about that guy on the other team last night.
Oh, now you like it.
I've never loved the guy they've always called the Greek Freak because to me, all I've ever seen is sort of freakish ability, but I wasn't sure about the basketball acumen and the backbone and the self-confidence, and he always looked like a guy who didn't really, do I really belong out here? Am I really this good? And when push came to literal shove, he wasn't physical enough, and we saw the Toronto Raptors, after Milwaukee won the first 2 games of the conference finals, just take him out of 4 straight games. They built a wall, quote unquote, in the middle of the lane, and they said, you just can't come in here anymore. And what got exposed? He appeared to have no shot beyond about 5 feet from the basket, right?
Correct.
No mid-range, no 3-point game, no jumper. So in the offseason, and this is when I always congratulate basketball or football players at the highest order, he just said, I have to figure this out. I've got to fix my weakness or I'm never going to be the player that everybody thinks I should be.
Correct.
And he did it because last night wasn't just a blip. It wasn't a one-night wonder. He's been on fire from 3 for the whole month of December. He is figuring out how to make 3-point shots. In the last 8 games, all in the month of December, he's 21 of 47 from 3. That's 45%. Is that good? Does that show you that something's happening?
Yeah.
That's not just one night, that's 8 nights, right?
Steph Curry is a career 43% from 3. So he's shooting 45. That lets you know, and we all think Steph is the greatest 3-point shooter ever.
Correct. And they're saying that Kyle Korver is having an enormous shooting impact on Giannis. And I think he helped LeBron from the free throw line the years he was with LeBron in Cleveland, right? And now he's teaching Giannis. And I thought Kyle actually played very well in the game.
He played very well.
But he's teaching Giannis a stroke from 3 that Giannis can trust. And to your point, he airballed his second one. And a lot of times, if you're not real sure of yourself in a game of that magnitude on TNT National, you kind of shrink away from that shot after that, or you start getting a little shaky-handed after that. Nope, he came right down and made another one.
The next after the air ball, Skip, he walks right into a 30-foot three.
So all 5 came from 27-plus feet. No Buck has made that many from 27-plus feet in 20 years. So he's doing something extraordinary because he wanted to make a statement last night. I'm just not going to make it with my toe up against the line. I'm going to shoot it from 3 feet on average behind the three-point line. Wow, really? So he made a statement of, it's me versus those two. So it's really 2 superstars versus 1. I know you can talk about the other.
Chris Middleton,
he made the All-Star team. I got it.
Yeah, but he's
not that guy.
No, he's
right?
not a superstar, no.
So it's really 2-on-1, and the 1 rose above those other 2. And his whole body language last night told me he believed he was the best player on the court that featured 2 other top 5 players, and he backed it up. He won huge respect. I know it's still, we're not even to Christmas Day yet, but that was a statement game from Giannis. He's no longer the Greek freak to me. I don't even like the nickname because it's actually kind of a negative nickname. Oh, your freakish ability, but can you play?
Yeah.
Last night he could play. He dominated this basketball game, and the only reason I believe that your team did not get blown completely out, they were blown out in the first half, but what happened in the third quarter with 9 minutes left, he drew his 4th foul, Giannis did. So all of a sudden, you look at the second half, there are 24 total minutes to be played. He played only 14 of 24 minutes in the second half. What if he could have played 22 of 24? What do you think would have happened? I think really bad stuff would have happened to your Lakers because they were down 19 at half, and I think it would have continued on that pace of 19 or 20 points.
Well, the thing was, AD got going in the third quarter, too.
He did?
He did a number. He had 15 points.
Okay, remember, Giannis was sitting for much of that quarter.
And LeBron started assisting the basketball. He had 6 assists. But, Skip, also the bench. The Lakers bench scored 4 points. They had 5 assists and 8 rebounds. They got outscored 34-4. Skip, you're not going to win. I don't care what your superstars do. Because they're going to have to go to the bench. The days of Wilt Chamberlain where you're playing 48 minutes, Skip, the guy's playing 46 minutes, that's done. If your bench only gives you 8 points, you're losing. Unless your 2 superstars can go to 80, 85, okay, maybe they can offset that. But when you get outscored 34-4, they had 5 assists and 8 rebounds. Skip, that's not enough. Because think about it, AD played the entire third quarter. AD played 43 minutes last night. You ain't, like you say, this is December. This is before Christmas. And he out there playing 43 minutes. Because you know why? Because Frank Vogel said, my bench could give me nothing. I mean, all of them, Skip, minus 13, minus 11, minus 15.
I thought you've loved your bench all year.
Skip, I do. But last night, they didn't have it. Caruso's been unbelievable. Dwight Howard's been unbelievable. Rondo. But last night, they didn't have it. They can't.
You realize that team on the other side of the floor, that's the number 1 defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
And I give you this, the Lakers are much improved on defense. They're not in that other team's league of playing defense. They're not.
But guess what happened last night? Old regular season George Hill showed up. You remember him, Skip Bayless?
He can play in the regular season.
Yeah, 21, but look at that.
You don't want to put him on the free throw line in game 1 at Oracle of the NBA Finals.
Last night he was 4 of 4. 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Old regular season George, what they call him. But come playoff time, I want to see this. I want to see this, George Hill, because you sure didn't give it to Cleveland.
Well, to me, bottom line takeaway from this game, it boiled down to Giannis made 5 threes, a career high, and your guy, Anthony Davis, did a lot of good things, but he went 0 for 6 from the three-point line, right?
He did.
5 for the 1 superstar and 0 for 6. That's a 15-point swing right there, right?
Yep.
And it got fairly close at the end of the game, but it boiled down to that. And the last 3 came with 9 minutes left in the game, made by Giannis. And what did he do after he made that 3? Can we see this, please? Oh, what? He made the crown sign around his head. He made the crown sign. He was doing the crown. He said, "King me, King."
No. Hold on.
It's the crown sign. I think somebody was making a statement with his gesture.
Well, let's talk to somebody that probably participated in beauty pageants. You beauty pageants and debutante stuff. You don't put the crown on your own head. Somebody else put the crown on your head, right, Jen? That's how they do it.
I think LeBron constantly puts the crown on his head. He uses the king emoji every
They call him King James.
Yeah. Oh, do they?
Yeah, that's what they called him. Ever since he was a little bitty boy.
Yeah. Didn't he tattoo Chosen One on his own back before coming out of high school? Yes, he did. I proclaim myself the Chosen One.
That's what they called him.
Okay.
Sports Illustrated did that. Sports Illustrated said he was the chosen one.
Well, last night somebody did this to you.
But he wasn't chosen.
Well, he looks like he chose himself last night.
Many come,
right?
but few are chosen. Now, I just want you to know that they got to come to Staples. They got to come see us. We're going to return the favor. Skip, I don't think Bron, I'm glad you're there. If I had to give Bron a grade, I probably would have given him a C. The man got a C, and he got a triple dub. Man got a triple dub. Like it was nothing.
Listen, I'm going to give you this. I thought LeBron did a lot of good things in this game. I thought Anthony did a whole lot of good things in this game. And they weren't in the other guy's league in the end. They just weren't. Seriously.
Stop it.
Well, they weren't.
I mean, you going to tell me George Hill's going to go 3 or 5 from the three-point line?
Sure he can.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah, of course, and when it doesn't matter.
No, well, okay.
That's all right. Skip, look.
That team's loaded. If they had Eric Bledsoe and, you were missing Kyle Kuzma, what have I told you from the start? Kyle Kuzma is your closer, and you desperately needed him last night to make three threes in the fourth quarter.
And Danny Green was going for it.
Well, how about that? How many times is he going to do that?
Yeah, he do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He do that all the time.
Hey, I lived through a lot of 0 for 8s from Danny Green. A lot of them.
Skip, do you remember opening night? You remember opening night he gave us this? Now, Danny Green has been playing unbelievable. Been playing very good defense for him.
Defense, yes.
And he been
three-point shooting, it comes and it goes.
But I guess what? You'll see three-point shooters again on Sunday and again on Wednesday.
Okay, so then let's get to the end of the game and your man LeBron James. And again, I thought he did a lot of good things.
I already said that.
128 left. You tried to preempt me, but 128 left. They're down 7, which is not undoable, especially for a team with that kind of firepower.
Yes.
And LeBron throws the poorest, weakest little pass. Well, what is that? Yeah. And Brook Lopez gets his 4th steal of the night on that pass. You can't do that. If you end up with a 3 there, it's a 4-point game with 1:20 left. Yeah. Well, you can pull that off, right? Yeah. And then this is a longer odds, but with 57.5 left, you're down 8, so it's a long shot. But LeBron dribbles down, and he just dribbles it off his own toe, and they get another turnover steal, right? And here we go the other way. So back-to-back plays where you had a chance, and it's just carelessness. It's okay.
It is.
And to your point, Vogel's been saying, we can't play like that. Your primary ball handler cannot turn it over like that in crucial situations.
Right.
Because you had a chance. I thought they kind of had Milwaukee on its heels because Giannis was still trying to not foul out.
Well, you do realize LeBron James had 5 fouls too.
He had 5 fouls.
So he had to be cautious about, okay, do I drive? Because they almost got him. He almost charged, Skip. I'm surprised they didn't call it considering the way they were calling the game on him. Because he came down the middle and he ran the guy over and the guy hit a 3.
I thought he should have been out of the game. But there was another one where he jumped in front of Giannis, and it was really close.
Yes.
And they did not give LeBron the benefit of the doubt.
Right. We had that one. That was just so LeBron had to be cautious. But like I said, hey, he didn't shoot. And he missed some shots in the mid-range area that LeBron can knock down. He can knock those down.
It comes and it goes.
But he got the 3 ball going a little bit. But I was impressed with 12 rebounds, 11 assists. And the assist total would have been higher if AD had it going a little bit in the first half.
Right, I agree. That Milwaukee team took the Clippers apart. They've beaten them twice, but they took them apart at Milwaukee. So there's no shame in hanging in a game at Milwaukee with that team. They are really good, and they have come of age right before
when they come to Staples, we will blow the doors off them.
Really? Will you give me...
I'm not giving you any points. You wouldn't give me any points.
5?
Nope.
I'll take 5 right now.
But we're going to blow the doors off them. Just let them know.
Do you remember you lost another case to me last year when they came to Staples? Now, again, that was LeBron and the kids.
Yeah,
exactly. You said, we got this.
Yeah,
I said, no, you don't got this.
Yeah, Bledsoe.
And that was an Eric Bledsoe night because he had just signed his big extension and he had like 31.
Yeah.
And he didn't even play last night.
That's okay.
I'm not one to make apologies for the Lakers, but I will say it's been a brutal road stretch for them. 12 of the last 15 away from Staples.
12 or 15.
That's a lot.
And AD coming back from that ankle injury as well.
Because we know if we'd had AD on Tuesday night, we'd have beat the brakes off.
You got to get LeBron back home under his own roof because he gets
He
out on the road.
He want to sleep on his own bed.
Starts feeling his oats a little bit.
No, he
doesn't get his rest.
You want to see the
We gotta leave
kids.
this one here, guys, because we've got another fantastic NBA game.
No mercy.
Russell Westbrook led the Rockets to a comeback win over the Clippers behind his game-high 40 points last night. James Harden chipping in with 28. And get this, every Houston starter hit double digits. Meanwhile, for LA, Paul George dropped 34, Kawhi added 25. The Clippers did come up short, though, 122 to 117.
Wow.
Shannon, Kawhi's one of your guys. What does this one tell you?
Yeah, but what's going on, Scott? Rockets for real. Rockets are offensive juggernaut, and when they needed to lock it down on the defensive end, Skip, because remember, they were down 19 at the half, and they locked it down, and they got it going. I just trying to figure out this. How can the greatest defensive team, because Jen, I don't know if you know this, but the Clippers are the greatest defensive team ever assembled. They got Paul George, who's a great wing player, reminds people of Scottie Pippen. And they got Kawhi Leonard, who's two-time Defensive Player of the Year, two-time Finals MVP. He's the greatest 6'8" and under defender in the history of the NBA. And they got Pat Bev. That junkyard dog is all over everybody. I just need to know why they're giving up 122. Why are they doing that? Hold on. And in the 3 games, either Harden or Westbrook has gone for at least 37. With Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Pat Bev on the floor. I need to know why, Skip.
What did I tell you from the start of the year? The Rockets are really going to be good because that pairing will work, and it is working.
Whoa. You told me that pairing, that trio of Pat Bev on ball and those 2 wings, I just need to know why Kawhi was guarding P.J. Tucker. Again, he's on P.J. Tucker. Now, there's no love lost, Skip, between Russ and Pat Beverly. Now, when James Harden went for 47, Russ said, Pat Bev got y'all fooled. He out there running around yelling and y'all think he playing defense. And the man just hit him for 47. He's again, they got into it last night, Skip,
They did.
Pat Bev fouled out, ended up getting a tech. Russ almost got a tech, and James Harden like, bro, use your head, let that go. We ain't trying to get, we talk about this later. But I just need to know, Skip, boy, what's going on? And you saw last night, James was struggling in the first half. And midway through the third, but Russ is in attack mode, Skip. It could be 1-on-5, 1-on-4, it doesn't matter. Russ can make it in his mind that he going to the basket, Russ is going to the basket. And he was making his free throws, 12 or 13 last night.
Unbelievable for him.
His three-point shot, it came and went, but he was 2 or 6. But I just love it. Look, the one thing you know about that kid, he going to give you everything he got, every single play, every single night. I've never, ever, I defy you to find anybody in the history of the game that's played harder.
I agree.
Every possession.
Every possession.
Every night.
Yep.
Skip.
Maybe not on the other end of the floor. I'm talking about on this end. Yeah.
Well, he saved all his energy.
Okay.
He saved all his energy. But Skip, the thing that I also commend James Harden for is that he realized that he didn't have it and he didn't force it. He only took 16 shots. Now, he's averaging about 25 a night. He didn't have it. He's like, Russ, you got to go. Russ, get that thing go. He ended up with 28 and 10. Lets you know that, hey, he understands the game. Like, I don't got it. Ain't no sense in me forcing the game. Russ, you got it. And they trusted. P.J. Tucker had 10, like Jen said. All 5 of their starters had double digits, and they got 10 off the bench from Austin Rivers. Skip, they're going to be, look, this is a 3-team race. This is the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Rockets. I ain't worried about nobody else in the Western Conference.
I'm with you.
This is a 3, this is going to be the toughest West. No, it's not.
Nope, it's not.
It's a 3-team race, and that's what it's going to be. And when these teams meet up, Rockets, Lakers, Clippers, Rockets. When these teams meet up, that's must-see TV. All the rest of the other stuff, Portland and Denver and Utah, no. But Skip, this was unbelievable. Whoa, the best player. Them old orthopedic. Jen, you got a prescription? You can get a pair of them New Balance.
Really?
Yeah, you got to write a prescription for them. 2 points in the second. Wait a minute, Skip. 2 and 9 in the second half. And he wasn't guarding James Harden. So he should have been fresh. PG was doing it. PG doing big things. Man, where did PG come from? I guess all them fans, that's why they booed him in Indiana. They say the PG that we see now, where was he at in Indiana, Skip? But the Rockets are for real. The Rockets are for real, Skip. Hey.
What is this? My box says Kawhi Leonard had 25 points and 9 rebounds. Is that good?
Whoa.
What's LeBron, like 27 and 7?
Whoa, hold on, time out, Skip. Time out. 2-9 in the second half. They had a 15-point lead. So I just need to know what went on, Skip, after that. What happened?
Tell me when it's my
It's your turn.
Thank you. Here we go. My biggest takeaway from this game was, number one, I never thought I would see the night when James Harden said, you take it.
Yeah, he did.
You got it. You got it. And it wasn't that James was cold. I disagree with that because look at the final numbers. He's 8 of 16 from the field and 5 of 11 from 3. That's okay.
Right.
But he's getting doubled every time. They got Bulldogs all. They got Pat Bev, and here comes Paul George, you know, and they're just saying, we are going to force the ball out of your hands. He says, okay, I'm good. There's only one man in the world he would defer to, and it's the guy he virtually grew up with in Southern California. Their friendship, he and Russell Westbrook, it runs so deep, their respect runs so deep for each other, he will defer only to one human, and it's that guy. And he said, I'm good. You take it.
Yep.
And Russ shoots 31 shots to his 16. He almost doubled him.
Almost doubled him up.
When did you ever think you would see the night when he willingly said, I'm good? And he wasn't pouting about it. He was just, let's play. Because James he closed the game strong. Ooh. Russ goes 40, 10, and 5. And guess who took over the distribution capabilities of the team? Well, look who had 10 assists. Ooh, wait a second. James Harden had 10 assists. So he said, let's just reverse our roles. Tonight, I'll distribute and you score. 40 points. It's the first Rocket who scored 40-plus points since 2011, other than James Harden. Yeah. Wow. It was Kevin Martin back in 2011. Yeah. So we've gone like 9 years since another Rocket scored 40 points. Okay.
And that was before Harden was there.
Okay. Now, let's get to the 2 flashpoints of the game. I still believe the Clippers would have prevailed in this game if something hadn't happened with 11 minutes to go. Who is the closer, I always tell you, for the Clippers?
Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou got into it with Kane Fitzgerald, the referee, and I think we have this. If you can hear what Chris Webber said about their altercation, it was very telling if we have this.
And a technical has been hit with 2 technicals, so he is gone.
Lou is upset with how the ref spoke to him. He keeps saying, don't yell at me, I'm a grown man, I did not speak to you that way.
Lou Williams has been thrown out twice in his NBA career. That's 1,466 games. So he's no hothead. This is rare that he gets thrown out.
You say the name.
Kane Fitzgerald.
Who else did he throw out for the very first time in his career?
And the only time in his career was LeBron James
I told you.
2017.
Yes!
So, again, Chris Webber is courtside where he can actually hear the back and forth. And he's saying that Lou is saying, don't speak to me like that. I didn't speak to you like that. I'm a grown man. So here we go again. We've heard this before. There are certain lines a referee also cannot cross. Yeah. And I'm just going to I don't know the exact dialogue, but I'm going to guess that Kane Fitzgerald crossed the line. Yeah. That he said something back to him that Lou could not live with. And he lost it and went completely over the edge and got himself bang, bang tossed. Right. Where Kane Fitzgerald has a quick trigger too. And against LeBron that night, he should have just give him one tech and then just walk away and let him he cool off. LeBron is not a hothead.
No.
He's not going to blow up. So LeBron got thrown out for the first and only time in look at LeBron's career. It's just unbelievable. I'm sorry, I gave you LeBron's numbers. 1,466 are his games, and Lou Will is twice in 1,022 games. So they're neither one. That's a Lane Fitzgerald issue.
Kane Fitzgerald.
I'm sorry, Kane Fitzgerald issue, and it really cost the home team last night because this is your closer. Right. And the game is very tight at this point.
Because Skip, not only he fouled Russ on a 3-pointer, and then he got tossed from the game, so Russ got an opportunity to make 5 free throws. Okay. So that was so you sit there and the momentum completely left the building.
Yep, it was a tie. James had just hit a 3, so then you go back and then they make the free throws, and here you go. But the point is, then we get to the other issue in question, which was at the end of the game, and Patrick Beverley is playing with 5 fouls, and he just goes over his edge a little bit and reaches on P.J. Tucker and commits an obvious reach foul, which he didn't need to do. This is 2:52 left in the game. And he is gone, but he barks back. I'm not sure which referee it was, and he gets a tee. and he's ejected. And then Russ, who obviously for the reasons you pointed out, despises him. And so Russ waves bye-bye to him, and he gets teed up.
Right.
And then something happened. If we have this, James got in Russ's face. You mentioned it. And there's only one human Russell Westbrook would allow to do that that. And it's this guy. Mm-hmm. It's James Harden. It's why they fit together, because of the respect bond between them. But it's unbelievable how that James goes at him and hard shoved him away.
Right.
You can say that was positive, like he's just trying to get him out of the altercation. But then he does this think, well, how often would Russell Westbrook let a teammate show him up like that? And they just buckled right back up and took the game over from that point on.
And he's talking to him, man, use your...
That's what I'm saying, use your head.
Kane probably said, FTF up. That's what he probably told Sweet
Possibly.
Lou.
It's possible.
And Lou lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, Lou is not a hot... Lou, not, I mean, he fouled him. Clearly it was a foul.
Yep.
Now, and Lou, is like, that wasn't a foul, yada, yada, yada. Skip, earlier, I thought AD was going to get a take because the ball went off of Giannis's knee under the basket. The official that was right there pointed and said it was Milwaukee's ball.
Right.
But Anthony Davis was like, no, it's off him. But the official outside said, no, it went off Giannis. Mm-hmm. And AD was like, ED, man, what the? I thought I was like, ooh, come on, AD, we don't need a take. We playing pretty good right now.
Vogel got one.
He did. Mm-hmm. But Skip, in this situation like this, what I'm saying about James Harden, Skip, he had 7 points at the half. He was 2 of 7, 1 of 5. So Russ had 15. So he saw Russ, even though Russ had put up 15 shots, because at the half, Russ had doubled Harden in shots, 15 to 7. And that's the thing about him, though, Skip. You think, man, we doing a number on James Harden. And the next thing you know, that step back three. All he needs to see is a couple go in, and it's over for you. He put a move on Paul George. And see, Skip, he starts rocking. And you think you got it timed up just right. Okay, he's about to hit the step back, step to the side. I'm going to step back with him. He gave Paul George the head fake. He kept the ball, kept his dribble alive, went to his right hand, and back again, Skip. We know he can get to the ball and put it on the window. Now he got that floater he developed last year. It's over for you. He didn't even shoot a ton of free throws last night. Not what we're used to seeing James Harden shoot. But Skip, they're going to be a tough out now. You talk about your guy Kawhi. You like 25, 11. He had 17 at the half. He had 4 points in the third quarter, Jen. He had 4 points in the fourth quarter. Now you tell me a closer. That's the best player in the world.
I've never said he was a closer. I said Lou is the closer of that team. I've told you that from his San Antonio days. He's not a natural-born closer.
But Skip, let's be real right now, all the way 100. You do realize this, that Paul George is their best player right now on that team. Now, I don't know what's going to transpire in the playoffs, but right now, night in and night out, because guess what I'm going to see? Paul George on the court, night in and night out. You can't be the best player. Skip, how you going to be somebody's best worker when you work part-time? What the hell they do that at? I work 40-plus hours a week. You work 20 hours a week. Oh, he's our best worker? Well, if he works so good, why the hell he don't work all the time? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who was the MVP of last year's
That was last year. We don't do last year.
Oh,
you got to be 2020. We got to update this thing, Skip.
Do you realize it's an 82-game NBA season?
Yeah.
Do you realize we're not even to Christmas Day yet?
So let me ask you a question.
The old bromide is the NBA season does not start until Christmas Day.
So then why you harping so much on opening day? Why you so harping so much on last night?
Because opening day was a statement.
No, it don't start. If the NBA don't start till Christmas, so now Christmas is in October?
Well, I mean, you got the two teams that share the building, and here we go.
We don't share anything. It is our building. There are tenants. That's like, hold on.
Wait, did Paul George play on opening night? Oh, he didn't play.
Did he play last night?
Won that game? The
Did he play?
Clippers won that game.
Hold on. He played last night. And he gonna play Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, which I'll be in attendance.
What did I tell you before the year started? Last night, the second game was a preview of the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be Clippers-Rockets to go to the NBA Finals.
No, it won't.
Yep.
Okay. You keep on talking. We're going to get us another guy. We're going to get old Iggy.
Yeah. Oh, you need Iggy. Yeah.
We don't need him, but we going to get him.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be at which game? The Christmas?
Grimmer.
Are you going?
Day. I'm going.
For sure?
For sure.
Are you going to sit courtside or upstairs?
No, I am upstairs.
Yeah, on a suite.
No, I need to be in the action.
Do you?
I'll be yelling. I might get tossed.
Really?
I might.
So you're going to be
Christmas gift
courtside
to
on
himself.
Christmas Day?
I might be courtside.
You might be?
Yep.
Thanks to your friend
Hey,
LBJ?
no, it's thanks to my friend Ben Franklin. You
Really?
listen to this grant. Yeah, that's my friend.
Really?
You needed
Yeah.
several friends of those
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
those courtside
I think
seats.
your friend is Maverick Carter. But that's just
Nah,
Guys,
Randy. Randy, I do more
great
talking to
stuff.
Randy.
Randy Mims.
Yeah, talk to Randy.
Yep.
And Rich Paul.
Okay, and well, all right.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott has remained limited in practice with what is reportedly an AC joint injury in that throwing shoulder all week. The QB does say, though, he's going to be good to go Sunday against Philly. Jerry Jones says he expects Dak to be in, quote, top form. All right, so following the news about Dak's shoulder, the Cowboys have become less of a favorite each day, although Dak is reportedly scheduled to throw at practice today, and we'll see what that causes the line to do. Joining us now, Fox Sports NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Thanks so much for being here.
And allow me to say quickly, on Sunday, Ernestine needed me to run some errands, and I did not get to see the Rams-Cowboy game, so I was hoping you could update me on what happened.
Well,
I missed it.
Well, the Rambassador is still a Rambassador,
Yeah.
but y'all beat us so bad. Skip, I went to the game. I was so pissed because I'm over there. Oh, I said, we're going to beat y'all. Oh, we're going to beat y'all. And the Cowboy fans like, y'all probably are. We're not playing that. I said, I know we are. And from the first snap, we had great field position, 40-yard line. We throw 3 terrible passes. You know what I said? Oh, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose it. And I got to give it to you, Cowboys.
Thank you.
Y'all put a beating on us. But I'm not a Cowboy fan. But now, back to business.
By the way, was that
Back to
all
business.
about Jared Goff's failure? Is that what that game was about?
No, it was not. It was it's a team effort. It was a team. The team looked flat. I mean, we looked like we wasn't playing for nothing. Our defense was like, what defense?
Yeah.
I mean, we gave up 40 points in 3 games, in 3 different games.
Yeah.
Tampa, you guys, and somebody else.
Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
I want to forget that one. I was so bad. 40 points in all those games. You can't win doing that. That's them college scores. You can't give up 40 points in the NFL.
Did you go in the locker room after the game?
No, I left. I got to say, my friend had a private jet over there. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, my friend. You know what I said? My friend, not me, my friend. So I think early in the third, he said, we out here. I said, let's hit it.
Really?
And I look out on the play. It was 38 to steal 7. I'm like, then I landed. I'm like 44. So, I hate you, Cowboys. I can't stand
So
it.
did you see a Super Bowl possibility with my Cowboys on Sunday?
But we ain't gonna go crazy, Skip. we're not gonna lose our mind. But what I do see in the Dallas team, when I saw that team play Sunday, that's the team everybody's been wanting to see.
That's correct.
They played really good football. They did what I said from the beginning of the year, Skip, that you disagreed with me on.
What they do?
Run the football.
Run the football.
Run the football with Zeke. And let me tell you, it's not how many times you run the ball, it's how you run the football, being a former running back. If you run the ball 3 times in the first quarter, you run it 8 times in the second quarter, 2 times in the third, and 4 in the fourth. You might say, he got 20 carries, but he didn't get into a rhythm. You hear every back say that. It's about the rhythm. It's like asking my quarterback to throw the ball in the first quarter, and we're going to let him throw again in the third quarter. I wonder why he's missing receivers. Right. And let me tell you, y'all say y'all have this all-pro offensive line. You have a great line. You have, to me, one of the best running backs in football, especially between the tackles. Zeke is the best. To me, he hasn't lost anything. When I ran for 2,000 yards, I didn't have a lot of 50, 60-yard runs. It was 15, 20. I think my longest there, you may be in 60 yards. But when y'all run the football with him, y'all are a different football team. And to me, in this football game, I feel like that the Eagles don't have anything on offense. They're decimated on offense. I mean, I think when I look at Carson Wentz, I feel bad for him. The fans are on him. The fans are booing him. The media's booing him. So, it's like he can't win. If he hits a receiver in the hands, I think he hit Aguilar, and in the hands, and he dropped it. You can't.
Twice.
Yeah, you can't survive like that. So, in this football game, are we picking scores yet or not?
Yeah, you can go ahead and
pick my score. It's going to kill me to say this. But anyway, I'm taking the Cowboys 24-20. I told you a couple of weeks ago you guys are going to win the division. Didn't I say that?
You did?
You guys are going to win the division. And the way you're going to win it is if you don't run the football Sunday, Sunday, you're not going to win this football game. I'm going to tell you one more story. Going back to when I played in my days, we played the Chicago Bears in the '85 championship game.
I was there.
You were there. That defense was ferocious. We had no passing attack. Okay, they beat us. I think I had 40 yards or something like 50 yards. Actually, 50 yards. Okay, the next year, same defense, Monday Night Football, the cold in December. You know, we just said, we're going to run the ball no matter what. We ran the ball, I think, 26 times. I had 124, one touchdown. We won that football game. I'm saying this, if the Cowboys run the football with Zeke, they win the game, they win the division.
Okay, before you go
ahead.
Quick point of order on Sunday's game against your Rams. Do you realize the first 8 Cowboy first downs in that game, first down plays, guess who didn't get the football on any of the first 8 first down plays? No Zeke on any of those 8, because I'm the one having to sit watching these games, pounding my desk at home saying, what are you doing? Every first down, it seems like, for 14 straight weeks has been just a straight up-the-gut handoff. No creativity. Here's Zeke,
right.
And it goes for a -1 or 0 or maybe 1 or -1 or 0 or no, maybe 1. And it's always 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11. It's just hard to overcome that. It's why you drive, and then you stall because all the drives are too long and there hasn't been enough Zeke in creative situations. They established the lead the other day by throwing the football. The early 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9 was to Amari for 19 yards. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. And then a 3rd and 10 in the red zone went to Jason Witten, and he one-hand caught it behind him for a touchdown. And then 49 yards went to your ex-Ram receiver.
Wide open.
Wide open. Again, the Rams ran into each other.
Yeah.
49 yards, touchdown, 14-7 Dallas. That's what they haven't done all year is they get a lead, then they let the Rams. Remember, the Rams went right down and scored 7-all, right? And you were probably feeling pretty good about yourself until the Tavon play happened. All of a sudden, my team's up 14-7 and never look back. Then comes the diet of eat, Zeke, eat from that point forward.
Well, at that point, when you got a basically 28-0, 28-7 lead, you better run the ball.
Okay, but don't tell me they came out of the locker room and said, we're going to feed the beast on first down, whether you like it or not.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
But you know this, being a running back is more than saying, okay, X amount of carries. It's a commitment that you have to run the football. Skip, just because it says, okay, we're committed to running the football, that doesn't necessarily mean we got to give it to ED every time on first down. But we're committed. We're going to walk out of this game with 35, 40 carries.
Okay.
Now, how we get there, maybe it's on second down, maybe it's on third down, maybe we have to go for it.
And what if you fall behind 31-3 at home? What are you going to do?
Well, that's the thing.
That's different.
But see, that's the thing. That's how you get them out of running Zeke. When you fall behind, you can't run your way back into a ball game. Now you can run because you run the ball to possess the clock to possess the ball to keep the other team from getting the ball. You fall behind 28-3 or 31-3. Why are you running the ball? You can't run your way back. You're gonna run yourself out of you're gonna run out of time. That's what you're gonna run out of. But Skip, look, the Eagles are really banged up. Arthego-Whiteside was limited in practice with a foot injury. They're already down D-Jack. They're already down Alshon. We don't know if Lane Johnson's gonna play. Aguilar, I mean, he's a Eagles receiver, but I think he has a Cowboy jersey on up under the Eagles shoulder pads. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Dallas should win this game. They are the healthier of the teams. All things withstanding, now you do have a the significance of Dak injury. I think they put some medicine in there. I think he'll be okay. But you're better than them on all sides in all areas except probably the kicking game. I will take the Eagles kicker over your kicker. But the Eagles need to get this game to the fourth quarter. Close. One scored the games. Dallas have only won one. They normally lose. Now, if you let them run and hide like they did the first 3 weeks of the season, Skip, if you let them hide like the Eagles did, like the Rams did, they'll blow you out. They're front runners. Skip say, Skip don't love front runners except when it says Cowboys doing the running. Now, he love that. But that's okay. Walk it to him. I expect him to be walking to him. I expect him to show you why many believe he's the best quarterback in NFC East.
Many are fewer and fewer.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But he has no weapons. I mean, I got to say for Carson Wentz, I mean, I almost feel bad for him. I'm not an Eagles fan. I just feel bad because, the media killing him. I mean, the fans are killing him. I mean, it's like he can't do nothing right. But if he hits a guy in his hands, it's like, well, they threw it too hard.
Aguilar dropped the touchdown, Skip. That touchdown beat the Falcons. You remember that on Sunday night, Skip? Then as bad as walking to him played against New England, he had the ball on Aguilar's hand. with a chance to tie the ball game, and what'd he do?
Dropped it.
So, my turn. Eric Dickerson made a whole prediction and did not even mention the injury my quarterback has suffered. Actually, 2 injuries my quarterback has suffered because he played Sunday against your Rams with a hairline fracture of his index finger on his throwing hand. And then he suffered on his first running play, which was the first down play of the first touchdown drive, the 7-0 drive. Clay Matthews rolled over the top of him, and I believe he suffered a rotator cuff contusion that swelled like crazy on Monday and Tuesday. My quarterback is as durable as any quarterback in the league. He has not missed a single practice in 4 years, let alone a game. And he has missed 2 straight practices in which he could not throw a single football. And you didn't even mention him, and you're trying to discount it because you don't want me to have a legitimate excuse.
There is no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses at this point. So they're going to try to let him throw a little bit today after he got a cortisone injection in his shoulder to knock out the inflammation and just see if he can get any range of motion back in his throwing arm. This game is made for Dak Prescott. It's going to be 46 degrees at kickoff, a balmy day on December 22nd in Philadelphia with no precipitation and light wind.
Yeah.
My quarterback killed this team last year because its secondary is so torchable. He threw parties at Philly and at Jerry World. In the fourth quarter and overtime at Jerry World, he threw for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns without an interception as they came back to win in overtime. I'm thinking this is a Dak game. He could throw for 400 in this game because they cannot defend the pass. Their front 7 is stout. If the Eagles smell blood early, if they see that Dak has lost his velocity or his distance with his throws, if he can't throw it more than about 5 yards, which I fear is going to be the case, then they will flood the box. They got bodies to flood the box with. They are good in their front 7. And there's no way Zeke can say, here I come. Give me 35 carries and I'll just run. You know what? It'll be like you going against those 85 Bears in that championship game. It will be hard. And I don't think they can win that way. Dak has to be able to throw. If he can't, they'll lose. If he can throw about 80% of capacity, they will win this game. They're better than the Eagles. I've said that from the start.
They're better than the Eagles. And this is not the 85 Bears. Let's get that. They're a good defense up front. I said it to you earlier. I mean, and I'm sorry I didn't mention that. I meant to put that in. Dak was hurt. Dak got a shoulder contusion. But I think it's in a sense, and I never want to see a player get hurt. It may help because it forces them to run the football. You know, like I told you before, it's not it's not how many times you run it, it's when you run it. Running the football is never popular unless you're just breaking out big chunks at a time. You know, the thing about running the football, and Shannon, you know this, in that third quarter, in that fourth quarter, if it's a close game,
okay,
and you getting 3, 4, maybe even 2, you know, all of a sudden a 10, 15, you throwing it, mixing it up. All of a sudden, that defense, I've got to shake this guy. I've got to try to make a sack. I've got to chase you running down the field. I got to come back. I'm fighting with this guy again. It's like, my God, can y'all stop the run over here, please? Okay. You know, give us a break.
All right, I'm on record. If the Cowboys are forced to run it 50 times with both Dak and Tony Pollard, they'll lose this game. They'll lose a close game.
Hold up, Skip Bayless. Wait a minute. Now, he did that early on the first drive, and he threw the ball 20 more times after he hurt that shoulder. So how hurt was the shoulder?
Well, I told you, when you got a shoulder contusion, it swells on Monday and Tuesday. If you have an AC joint sprain, you got issues in that game. He had no issue.
But it should have been sore in the game.
Dak said it was most painful on Tuesday.
Yep.
Important to note. Great stuff, guys.
No mercy.
For the 3rd day in a row this week, Julian Edelman limited in practice, struggling with a knee injury. However, Edelman is expected to play this weekend against Buffalo. Meanwhile, Tom Brady was seen in practice shaking his arm and elbow after throwing passes. No injury designation for Brady this week, but don't forget the previous 4 weeks, Brady was listed on that injury report with an elbow. The Patriots have the opportunity to clinch the AFC East with a win tomorrow against the Bills. Eric Dickerson still hanging with us. Eric, put on your analyst hat for us and predict the score. What you got?
He's that old-ass man. That's what you tell me.
What team is undefeated? They never lost a game. Never. Father Time.
Yeah.
Father Time never
That's
loses.
where we're
Father
going.
Time never loses.
That is true.
I'm going 17-10 Bills. I figured I'd catch y'all off with that. I knew it. Pow. I'm going with the Bills.
Wow.
I'm going with the Bills. Because, let me tell you, when you look at the first game they played, the Bills had 375 yards of total offense. The Patriots had 224. The Bills had 135 yards rushing the football. The Bills had 75. Big stat is the Bills had 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions by Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patriots had, I think, no turnovers.
No.
0 turnovers. Mm-hmm. That's how you win football. If you look at the stats, you think most definitely the Bills won this football game. But, you know, when you turn the ball over, you just can't win like that. I'm going with this in this game because I feel like the Bills now, I think they're a better football team. Like I said, Father Time has shown up. I mean, Tom Brady is not the Tom Brady he was, and he doesn't have the weapons. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to throw to. Element, you know, this time everybody's hurt, so, you know, he'll say he's hurt. He's probably still going to play. I just like the Bills. I like their running game with Devin Singletary.
He is slippery, man.
I like him.
Yep.
And I think that's the reason they got rid of Shady McCoy. I mean, because they saw something in him. I mean, this football team, defensively, you may not even know they're defensive players, but they play some real defense. I mean, Sean McDermott has done a great job with them playing. And you know one thing about the Bills, even going back to we played, they would hit you, and they will hit you. And you know one thing, I just feel like that this is the Bills' time, and I'm taking the Bills 17-10.
Look, I'm not buying the Patriots injury, especially with Tom Brady, you know, shaking his arm and all that other stuff. I ain't buying it. Julian Edelman, now the report yesterday said Julian Edelman looked in practice yesterday as well as he had looked at any point in time in the last 2 weeks. Not just Wednesday. He's like, whoa, Julian Edelman, man, he came out there with a cane. He had a motorized, he got off the motorized scooter. Now, I'm trying to figure out how can a man go from Wednesday to looking like that to Thursday. He looked as good as he's looked at any point in time in the last 2 weeks. See, I ain't buying all that sandbagging.
Do they allow you to play in a wheelchair in this league? I don't know.
No, he came to practice on a wheelchair. Skip, but I do believe this will be a low-scoring ball game. Brady will benefit. Because, look, when I look at the Bills' defense, they have a very good defense. The Patriots have a great defense. Skip, they've scored.
You don't think it's great?
They're great, not historically great. They're great in today's. Because, Skip, anytime you can hold someone under 15 points a game, you're doing something in today's game with the way they're, you know, the pass interference and all the ticky-tack stuff. You get the defensive receiver. So they're doing an unbelievable job. The Patriots defense have scored 7 non-offensive touchdowns, 5 defense, 2 block punts.
Yep.
The Patriots lead the league in takeaways. The Patriots lead the league in average starting field position.
Yep.
So this notion that, Tom Brady gets the ball in better shape than any other quarterback in the NFL.
That's true.
And the reason why I said, Skip, you talked about, you talked about Buffalo, is they had 2 amoebas could play better than what Josh Allen.
That's what you told me after that New England game.
Yeah, because Josh Allen had 3 turnovers, then his backup come in and he get to give you 2 more. And that's the difference in the ball game, I believe. I don't believe they'll turn the ball over 5 times.
So he's evolved beyond the amoeba stage.
Yeah.
Progress.
But I do believe that Coach Belichick's defense will coax a few turnovers out of him. I'm going fair medium scoring. I'm saying 23-16.
23?
23-16 the Patriots.
So how many points do you give the defense then?
Oh, the defense go probably. But see, here's the thing. The defense will probably sit Tom up at like the 20. They'll probably think about it, Skip. There have been 10 block kicks in the NFL, 10 block punts. The Patriots have 4 of them. 7 non-offensive touchdowns. So that's the reason why, because think about it. It's going to be very interesting. I said, now the Patriots haven't won a game in which they've given up more than 14 points. Think about it. The 3 games that they've given up more than 14, they've lost. All the other games, they've held teams under 14. So I'm looking at this, Skip. I'm going to say they're going to win a medium score game. I'm going to say 23-16 because the defense gets a pick 6, scoop and score, block a punt. But they set Tom Brady up in great field position on 2 drives, and that's enough for him to get the job done.
To 23 points.
Yep.
So the guy who has hit the wall, Father Time has tapped him on both shoulders.
Yes.
You're coming with me, right?
Yeah.
He's going to somehow manage 23 points when they can't protect him, they can't run block, they can't pass block. He's got no weapons. He's got 0. His best weapon is beat all to hell Julian Edelman.
When Stephon Gilmore gets the ball and run it back in the end zone, when they block a punt and get the ball in the end zone, Tom Brady ain't got to do nothing.
Okay, are you predicting 2 defensive scores?
I'm saying that, well, I mean, Skip, you only got to go 10 yards. He can't get the ball 10 yards?
I don't know. Are you predicting he's going to have a 10-yard drive?
I'm saying the defense will do what they've done for the most part what they've done in 11 games, which is play top-notch defense, shut teams down, hold them to under 14 points. I don't believe they hold them under because, like I said, I think Buffalo has a good defense, and they might coax a turnover two out over Tom.
So what have you guys taught me again and again about the number one issue in pro football is you have to run the football.
Yep.
And conversely, you have to stop the run, right?
Yep.
What has Belichick's defense consistently not done the last month?
They
cannot stop the run.
Nope.
Lamar and company ran wild on him. Nick Chubb ran wild on him. Joe Mixon last week in Cincinnati ran crazy wild on him. I'm like, Devin Singletary with a little help from Frank Gore, they're going to get their 150 yards rushing. So I can't argue hard with your pick. I think you made actually a rational head pick, actually. It's, again, I'm just picking with my heart because I think this is a Super Bowl team, but I can't justify it in any way, shape, or form against this team on this Saturday up in Foxborough. The weather is it's like Philly weather. It's going to be perfect. It'll be 32 degrees, 30 degrees at kickoff. No wind, no precipitation. So if Brady can throw at all, you should be able to throw in this. But similarly, Josh Allen should be able to complete some balls in this kind of weather, right?
Yeah.
It's good football weather. It's hitting weather for those Buffalo Bills, right?
Skip, think about this, Skip. Tom Brady has not lost back-to-back regular season games since 2006.
Okay.
We about to be in 2020. We got to go back to 2006, the last time the man lost regular season back-to-back games.
So I believe Shannon Sharpe is picking the Patriots at home in what amounts to a playoff-ish kind of game.
Yes.
I believe you're doing it just because it's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, period, end of story.
Against Josh Allen, yep.
Okay? Like, that's what it boils down to. You're saying, I can't. I'm not going to go against them.
Right.
And I'm the same way. I'm right with you because they're just going to figure it out. I don't know how, but I got it real low scoring. I got it 17-13 Patriots, and I don't know how. I can't even give you a formula for it, except Brady will make a couple of throws. I still say N'Keal Harry is the difference. He's the X factor. 6'4", 225, and he's evolving past his amoeba stage into legit NFL receiver.
Does Tre'Davious White follow him?
He might. He just might, because I think they're seeing on tape, that's the only guy we really can threaten us, right? Yeah. You're right.
Bills.
Bills.
Two Patriots and a Bill.
Shannon loves Bills. He's got lots of Bills.
Yeah, dog.
You got Ben Franklin.
I had a lot of Bills till I got these tickets to the Laker game.
Yeah, let's take a few Bills. Eric, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
No mercy.
Last night, the Greek Freak was just too much for LeBron and a returning Anthony Davis to handle. Giannis recorded 34 points and 11 boards, but he truly stole the show from downtown. A career-high 5 three-pointers on just 8 attempts. LeBron finished with his 7th triple-double of the season. AD, well, he had a game-high 36 points to go along with 10 rebounds. Now, this is the first time this season the Lakers have suffered back-to-back losses. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us now. Good morning, good morning.
This will be interesting.
What do you think you learned from last night's face-off?
I'm going to try to go fast because I learned a lot. Number one, I said, in my power rankings, I've had Milwaukee in the top 2 the whole year, but I said on this show a couple weeks ago, the 2 LA teams are head and shoulders above everybody else in the league. I misspoke. I mean, Milwaukee's now 4-0 against the LA teams and Houston. So obviously 3-0 against the LA teams. They're legit. I think there are 3 teams, the 2 LA teams and Milwaukee, on an elite level. And we'll get to Houston later. I don't have them on that level. And I'm not guaranteeing Milwaukee wins the East because I think Philly has a lot of room to grow and
I agree
improve.
with that.
And they have over the last month and will continue. But that, Giannis, I mean, I think we got a glimpse of the future last night. It's scary. Because in my view, he may be only 80% of the player he could become. Because we saw last year what Toronto do to slow him down in the playoffs. Make him shoot the jumper. And if he's going to he hit 5 threes last night, as you said, this month in December, 8 games, he's shooting 44% from 3. And it's not a small sample size. It's 21 for 47, so 6 a game. If he's going to hit the 3, even at 35%, then I don't know how you stop him. He had the nice little turnaround late in the game.
Yeah.
So that's Milwaukee. They're legit. The Lakers, I don't look at this as the bad, loss that a lot of people might look at it as. And here's why. The Lakers showed me last night that they are about that life, that they're serious about this season because they had so many opportunities to just pack it in. It's a regular season game Thursday night in December. They started off slow, obviously got down big, and every time they made a run, they get to 12, they get to 11, to 10. Milwaukee hits a big 3 or a basket. And so with 9 minutes left, it happened. They could have easily been like, you know what? It's not our night. Right.
Yep. Well, to your point,
live to live another
the Clippers 2 weeks ago did just that at Milwaukee.
Right.
They just said, we're out.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's the difference in philosophies you can see with the two franchises. So the fact that the Lakers kept fighting, I thought was a positive. AD showed me something. He's showing me more mental and physical toughness than I thought he had. And I feel like every week is growing. First half, I'm thinking, he didn't show up against the Clippers in the fourth, right? The 2 biggest games of the season. He goes scoreless against the Clippers in the fourth. He has a bad first half, but he balled in the second half, went head-to-head with Giannis, did a great job. They're going to need him to be that dog that he showed last night to win it all. Obviously, LeBron, second straight bad game. You got to have another conversation with him. Late, the 2 turnovers in the last minute and a half. But here's the thing. Unless Father Time has sat on LeBron's shoulders this week and said, guess what, King? The party's over. I'm not worried about LeBron.
Right.
LeBron's going to be fine. So I like the fact that AD stepped up. Danny Green, 2 biggest games, the Clippers, the Bucks. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope stepped up.
He did play well.
I thought, again, not worried about LeBron. That was really the main negative was LeBron's, and he still had a triple-double, but he wasn't LeBron. So I thought that's what I learned last night.
The thing, every time Skip and we talk about the Lakers, I said Frank Vogel should go to the board, guard the 3 line, and take care of the ball. And what didn't they do last night? Guard the 3-point line and didn't take care of the ball.
I think they guarded it. He was just at 20.
No, I ain't talking about Giannis. I ain't talking about Giannis. I'm talking about regular season George Hill. George Hill, George Hill all-star the regular season. You see how he played last night? That come playoff time, he won't be seen. Put
that Cavs bias.
Yeah. Put an APB out on it. But look, when's the last time you heard a team having 14 steals in a game? Because that's what the Bucks had last night. 14 steals, that's unheard of. And a lot of them careless. I mean, look, when you have the guy that handles the ball as much as LeBron does, this is why when Russ was in OKC, he had a lot of turnovers because he had the ball in his hand damn near every time down the court. James Harden, they're going to have lots of turnovers because they have the ball 80, 90% of the time. But you can't, in situations like that, you have to pick and choose. When the ball game and you're making a run to get back in this thing, you have to be careful with the ball. So the things that you were trying in the first and second or third quarters, now that you're making a run, you can't give them that opportunity because they got an opportunity to get the game into 6, maybe even get it down to 3, and then turn over, and then they come back down the court and boom. And what I'm starting to see with guys, when teams make threes and they get it going early, Chris Middleton coming down. He's 1-on-4. Dude pulls up from 26 and switches.
It's what they do, though.
They shoot the 3.
Once they feel it, I mean, what do you got to do?
They lead the league in pace also, so they will push it and shoot it fast.
Exactly. Yep. So, look, my thing is if the Lakers can guard the 3-point line, and I believe they can, but take care of the ball. They got down 21. You get down 20. That
starts with your quarterback.
Yeah, but I got to be a quarterback in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, let Chris fail the man in the class. Man has dribbled up and Chris failed it.
No, I didn't fail him.
What'd you give him?
I gave today. A D.
See, you failed.
That's not failing.
Hold on.
What you give him from last night?
I gave him a C. I gave him a C because he turned the ball over too much.
Yeah, and then down the stretch, he had the 2 turnovers.
Yeah. So he had 5 total, but 2 of them came in the last 2 minutes of the ball game. But we gonna be. I tell you what we gonna do. We gonna open up something on Nuggets and then have just enough milk and cookies for somebody else on Christmas Day.
I think this makes the Christmas Day game, because both teams, this won't be their last game before that game, but tough losses.
So could we get to what really happened last night?
And that happened. We saw what happened.
Could we get to the crowning? Moment came after Giannis' 5th and final 3 with 9 minutes left in the game. Can we please see that sequence? Thank you. Here it is. Well, another deep 3. Whew. Swish. Here we go. Wait for it. Okay. Oh, wait, he does the crown. That's a crown. I'm crowning myself.
You can't do that.
King me.
You can't do that.
King me. It's like checkers.
We got to do that.
King me.
That was a message to Kawhi?
Oh, no.
Because he's the king of L.A., right?
I think it was to the washed king. Right? He was the guy down the floor. And again, I've not been the biggest Giannis fan. You were on them early last year. You're saying Milwaukee. I was like, show me something, Greek freak. I don't even like the nickname because the connotation is you got freakish ability, but are you really a basketball player? Can you do it at the highest level? Can you shoot the ball from more than 5 feet away? Because Toronto said no. Brazil said no. Remember the FIBA games? And the coach just shamed him after the game. Said, we had a 40-year-old stop him because we saw the blueprint in the conference finals. They lost 4 straight. Remember, they won the first two against Toronto and lost 4 straight games, and he shrank every game. How tall is he? 7 feet or whatever?
At least
6'11". 7 feet.
And by the 4th game, he's about 6'1". So then in the offseason, he committed.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure this out. I think Kyle Korver has done wonders for him as his new teammate because he helped LeBron at the free throw line when they were together in Cleveland, and he's really helping Giannis because the stroke is looking pure.
Well, we might need to trade for Kyle Korver and get it back.
He has huge value on and off the floor.
Yeah.
At practice, he has huge value. And I thought Kyle Korver played very well.
He did.
Their depth is really deep.
Yes.
They didn't even have Eric Bledsoe, and they came in and just shell-shocked them with their shock troops. But in the end, Giannis rose above 2 superstars because he was the best star of the 3 stars last night. And remember, if he doesn't get his 4th foul early in the 3rd quarter, remember, that limited him to only 14 minutes out of 24 in the second half. What if he played 22 minutes? Right. What do you think would have happened? Nothing good for the Lakers.
Well, he don't play that many. He doesn't play a whole lot of minutes anyway, Skip. So I'm not so sure that he would have played. But don't pretend like LeBron didn't get in foul trouble either, and it hindered him. But what about the bench, the Lakers bench? What you going to do with 4 points? Right. 4 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds.
So you're admitting you got carried away with the Lakers' depth?
No, I'm just saying they didn't play well last night.
Okay.
I mean, because you saw what Dwight gave you on Tuesday. Dwight was 10 for 10. Played unbelievable. Caruso had been playing unbelievable.
Okay.
All those guys Rondo has been phenomenal off the bench. But nobody played well last night.
Okay, but all of a sudden that rim gets protected by the Bucks because the two Lopez's and Giannis, it's hard to get to the basket.
We're going to get to the basket on you-know-who, though.
Okay.
But for what you said, that's why last night could have been good. Because maybe a Caruso is reading his press clippings. I mean, he's getting all types of love.
AC.
Dwight now. I mean, maybe he's starting to think, hey, I'm getting love in L.A. I thought they hated me. So
that is true.
I think this could be good for them. And the Lakers, the defense, look, we've raved about their defense all year. But their defense is at the rim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Avery Bradley is a great defender when he's healthy, but they did not defend the 3 well at all last night.
But they hadn't defended it well all year.
No, and so their perimeter defense has to improve.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Russell Westbrook led the Rockets to a thrilling comeback win over the Clippers behind his game-high 40 points last night. James Harden chipped in with 28, and get this one, every Houston starter double digits. Paul George dropped 34, Kawhi added 25, but the Clippers still came up short, 122 to 117. Chris, how impressed were you with those Houston Rockets last night?
I was impressed. I don't think I was as impressed as Skip Bayless, but I was impressed. Look, going there 14-1, the Clippers were at home, to beat them like that, I think that was a good win. P.J. Tucker was the best defender on the floor, did a great job on Kawhi, held him 2 of 9, 8 points in the second half.
What?
And Houston, everybody, it's kind of a cliche now to say a D'Antoni team is horrible defensively. Over the last month or so, they've been pretty good defensively, and last night they showed, we can buckle down when we need to. They got some help from the Clippers, of course, but 48 points in the second half.
Right.
I'll give them credit for that. Here's the thing I hope the Rockets learn, and I think they need to learn, Skip, if they're going to be the team you think they can be. It doesn't have to be all Harden all the time. It doesn't. He's averaging 38 points. Russ is averaging 23. I would like that to be about 33 and 26. Or even lower for both of them. And when Eric Gordon gets back, he's giving you 17 or 16, 18, whatever. Because you need balance. And I know last night Russ was unusually good with 40. But they don't need James Harden scoring 38 points. You're not going to win a championship. The most points a player has ever averaged in the regular season and won the title is 32.6, and that's Michael Jordan.
Yep.
That was his 4th highest scoring season of his career.
Right.
When Wilt was 50, 44, 38, he wasn't winning. And so I just don't. Marcus Johnson, we were talking to him yesterday on our radio show, The Odd Couple, with Rod Parker. And Marcus Johnson said this. He said his second year in the league with the Bucks, you remember, he was a great player.
Yeah.
5-time All-Star. He averaged 26 points. Don Nelson went to him before the next season and said, look, we need you to bring that 26 down to 20. And he did. He averaged 21 that year. They went from 38 wins, no playoffs, to 49 in the playoffs. The next year, he brings it down to 20. They win 60 and lose to Dr. J and the Sixers in a tough 7-game playoff series. So my point is sometimes less is more. Now I know you got the branding and you got your sneakers and, you know, you're a superstar. So it's hard to say, man, I could average 38 and be the highest since Wilt.
That puts you in real fire there.
Right. Or I could average 32 and maybe we
A lot of people average 32.
But that's what I hope they learn. Because that's what I think they need.
Well, Chris Broussard and Skip Bayless has told me this might be the greatest defensive team that's ever been assembled. They got Pat Bev on ball. They got these 2 wing defenders. This is Scottie Pippen. I've heard NFL execs say this is Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan 2.0. And now I've seen these teams play 3 times. And Harden or Westbrook has got at least 37 in all 3 games. Now I need to know why this is happening.
Whoa. What do we call James Harden? Greatest offensive player ever?
No. What do we call Kawhi? He might be the greatest on-ball defender since Michael Jordan. And I just need to know why he guarding P.J. Tucker. I just need to know that.
I know you got a question about that, too. They're not putting Kawhi on the best offensive player.
Oh, but
now, Beverly is good, too.
Yeah.
And Paul George and Mo. You know, they got some good defenders, but why are they hiding Kawhi?
It's December. That's all you need to know.
Maybe,
Period. End of story. We're not even to Christmas yet. Okay?
Whoa.
Wait for March. Wait for April. And definitely wait for May and June.
Oh, you wait for... is he going to play then? Because we know he ain't going to play the front of the back-to-back.
The better question is LeBron going to be able to play then?
Hey, Chris,
what rate he's
if
going.
you want those New Balances, I got the guy that can write your prescription for him. Because you got to have a script.
You know what? I actually like the new
joke
ones.
is
The latest ones, the ones he wore last night are pretty hot.
Well, he better not wear them again. He better not wear them again. Because he got cooked for 40 in there. Look. What the Rockets showed me, I mean, being down, 46-65 at the half, and they go on a 42-11 run. Now, we know they have firepower. James Harden was struggling in the first half. Russ had it going. Russ doubled him up in the first half on shots. Almost doubled him up for the entirety of the game. So it turned James Harden. And for James Harden to concede anything. You see, when Chris Paul came there, I'm not conceding. Right. You get your butt in the back. Carmelo... The only time that he's taken a backseat that we've seen is Russ. He's like, Russ, go ahead. It's your night tonight, bro. Do your thing. I'm going to facilitate for everybody, keep everybody happy. They got firepower. And if you're going to get this kind of production, you're going to get 6 guys that score in double figures. Guys scoring double figures. They got 18 off the bench. Now, a lot of that, Skip, you talked about it earlier, Lou Williams getting thrown out of the ball game, and it seemed like it took all the air out of the building because they had it going in the first half. Paul George and Kawhi was taking turns. Oh, Paul George like, okay, boom, boom, let these threes go. Kawhi, Kawhi's not going to speed up. He If Kawhi, is Kawhi just going about his business, just doing his own thing.
And all of a sudden he wins Finals MVP.
And all of a sudden he scores 8 points in the second half and they lose. They get out. That's what happens, Skip. Now you let LeBron James LeBron, you had it going in the first half. Why wouldn't LeBron do this? You know what? I noticed this about you, Skip Bayless. This man quit on your team. Your team had a chance to be special. Can you look at the Spurs? They are a shell of themselves.
Yeah, he left them for dead.
Yes, you up there and you caping for the man. I can't believe you.
I told you. I forgive, but I don't forget.
No,
he quit on my team.
How you forgive him for that? Left your team for dead.
He was my favorite player for 5 years.
Yes.
I raved and raved about him, and I'm back. I'm okay because he's going to beat your team.
That's what it is.
It's a business relationship, right?
So I got 2 takeaways from last night. Number 1 is Chris Paul and James Harden did not fit. Russ and James Harden are like that because they basically grew up together in Southern California, and their level of trust and respect and admiration runs so deep they will let each other get away with things that they wouldn't let any other human get away with.
Nope.
Last night, they just jumped all over James and said, "You can't have this." And it wasn't that he was cold. He just said, "Okay, Russ, you go." And Russ went and went and went all night long to 40 points and like 31 shots to 16. Are you kidding me? Right. James Harden sat back. He made 8 of 16 and 5 of 11 threes. That's pretty great, right? Yep. So it wasn't like he had a cold hand. He's just saying, look, if they want to play it this way, we'll play it your way, Clippers, and watch what happens. But to your point, Lou Williams is the closer for the Clippers. It's not Kawhi. It's not Paul George. They have both come up small in closing moments in their careers. Paul George against LeBron repeatedly, and Kawhi in moments such as the 2013 Game 6 of the Finals when he missed a crucial late free throw. He was not the Spurs closer. The point is, Lou Williams had to be there. This was their game at home to be won.
Yeah.
And Lou Williams does not get ejected from games. This was only the second time he got ejected. And he got into it with Kane Fitzgerald. And we don't have time to run this, but Chris Webber heard that he was sitting for TNT right there at courtside. And he said Lou was furious because he said Kane Fitzgerald spoke to him in ways that nobody's going to be allowed to speak to him. And that Lou was yelling back, "You can't speak to me that way. I'm a man. I did not speak to you that way." So what did Kane Fitzgerald do in 2017? He ejected LeBron James for the only time in his whole career.
Yeah.
So think about this. Lou Williams has played 1,022 NBA games, and he's been ejected twice, and last night was one, and it cost them that game. LeBron's been ejected one time in 1,466 NBA games, and it was by the same guy. You want to talk about a quick trigger? Boom. Okay? So that was basically the ball game.
People don't pay $3,000-$4,000 to come see you throw somebody out.
Right.
Bingo. Thank you very much.
And you are right. Like, Lou Williams could be an all-star this year. He's that important. Yeah. He's been that big.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, they got the best two bench players in the NBA.
They do.
Him and Trez.
Yep.
No mercy.
I hope so. Here she is live in studio, Skip's wife, the famous Ernestine Sclafani Bayless. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me back. Love being here.
Well, we'll see about that in just a second.
We'll see.
Skip did not hug his wife. Talk about, I'm going to wait till after the segment
She
to
hugged
give you a
everybody
hug.
out here, but I want to see how this goes.
We were the only ones to give her a proper.
When he tries to give you a hug, Ernestine, after the segment, Heisman posing.
He's going to say I'm a jinx already. He'll say I jinxed you because I hugged him.
Okay, let me say something nice before we start.
Thank you.
We've been together for about 15 years now, and this has been the hardest football season of my life, thanks to my Dallas Cowboys. So I want to publicly thank you for being a saint and putting up with me through all those psycho Sundays, because I have been psycho, and I have a feeling I'm about to be even psycho-er this Sunday when they play the Eagles.
Oh, this is the heads up. This is great. I have 3 more days of this. Okay.
Here we go.
Maybe you should book a trip somewhere.
I think immediately directly to Miami.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a fantastic book out right now. If folks haven't read it, Balls, How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sports-Obsessed Guy. It's fantastic for any avid sports fan. So you have to fill us in. As Skip said, a roller coaster season, as much as I can remember, for any Cowboys team.
Yes.
What has it been like coping, living with him the past few months?
It has been sheer hell. Okay? Excuse my language. So the day that he threw Zeke's jersey in the garbage and then took it back out. That is just the start of what it's been living with him. So if Zeke's mom thinks that was bad, try doing this 24/7. Not easy.
So it started with game number 2 for me. And you know, I've got all kinds of good luck charms and jinx beaters, and I've tried everything to right the wrongs of this season, most of them unsuccessful. But I did find one lucky charm for a little while. Game number 2 at Washington. You'll remember this. My team fell behind quickly 7-0 thanks to a Dak Prescott interception. You've been all over him. He's thrown way too many more picks than Mitchell Trubisky. And he threw one at Washington that put them in a 7-0 hole that lasted all the way into the second quarter. You had gone to New York City to start your first media tour to promote your book.
Yes.
It's a great book. I'm all for you going to New York. But
Lucky
you left
me, leaving him.
But you left me alone with our little 3-year-old Maltese, Hazel. So I was so desperate in the second quarter of that game that I went and picked up Hazel in the other room, brought her into my little TV room, and we stood right beside the TV, giant screen TV, and I'm holding her under my arm. And guess what happened? Magic happened. Dak Prescott went 97 yards in 7 plays, culminating with a 51-yard bomb to, do you remember this? Devin Smith. Whatever happened to Devin Smith? But he was my guy at that point. Look at this. Look at this. And I'm going, Hazel! Thank you, Hazel! Look at this. What a throw and a catch this was. Beautiful. And guess what? I stood holding Hazel. I let her down when Redskins had the ball. I held Hazel the rest of that game, and they had the ball 6 more times. They go 83-11, 75-9, 68-11, 54-10, and then kill the clock 45-6 to hold off the Redskins 31-21. And I thought, I got magic under my arm. I got Hazel. And she worked against the Dolphins the next week because it was the Dolphins, right?
Anything would have worked against
And then guess what happened? My team went to your team, Jen. Went to New Orleans. Remember that night game?
Yep.
How could I forget? It's fantastic.
It was 12-10 Saints, Teddy Bridgewater's Saints. And you were all over me because I gave up on Hazel. I threw her out after halftime.
Really, how could this man believe that this dog has the power to change a game?
I don't understand. But it only stayed for a little while.
Well, the minute I walk into the apartment, and if I don't see Hazel jumping up at my feet, I know that he has her in the room.
Locked in the room.
Look, the minute I walk in the apartment and Hazel is running at my feet, I have to tread lightly because I know he's flipping out in the other room.
I am. Screaming obscenities at the TV. I have tried every combination. I have 3 cowboy hats, 3 jerseys, and 3 T-shirts, and I've tried them all in different combinations. And I found one that I think worked because it worked against the Rams that I'm going to try against the Eagles. I will not publicly divulge what it is, or it might sap its charm.
Ernestine, you're more woman than I could ever be man because when he's very short with me, and maybe it's because I do needle him a little bit, and I know you're walking around on eggshells. But he's really short. He snaps at me.
Oh yeah.
How are you able to handle that 24/7?
I just walk out of his room. I just tune him out. I mean, really, after a while, it's just like, it's white
So
noise.
what have you learned to do on game day?
I stay away.
She leaves
I have
the
no, I go somewhere, anywhere, movies, the mall, the grocery store 14 times in one day, just so and then I look at the scores on my phone, and I know if his team is losing, especially Cowboys, that we're talking about the Cowboys. Cowboys are number 1. If the Cowboys are losing, I go to the car wash. I just do everything I can in my power just not to come back.
And Patriots are number 2, right?
Oh, yeah, Patriots are number 2. And
but
then
it's
if
not even in the same.
No, but if I have to come back, eventually I do live there. I have to come back. I make no noise, and I go in my office, and then I put the TV on in my office, and I watch it in my office, and then I hear him from the other side of the room, the house. He's yelling, and the poor dog is shaking. She's in my office, and then I have to deal with him, and then he comes in, and actually Hazel, you know how they have service dogs?
Right.
Hazel has become his service dog because Hazel brings him out of his funk.
That's true.
Not me. He'll be mad at me, but Hazel, she just has to look at him, and then he just softens up. So thank God.
So when the Cowboys are winning, she'll come straight home at the end of the game.
And then I open the
I'll
door
come
and
out
say,
like this.
No, but then what I do is I try to be really nice, and I open the door, I knock on the door. congratulate. I'm tweeting.
so it's always
I can't
something.
win. And then by the time it's like an hour later, it's old, and he'll come. So what did you say? I said, forget it. Don't worry about it. It's over.
Yeah, that's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you
Okay,
should be
speaking
ashamed
of being
yourself.
ashamed of yourself, I remember a certain Monday when Shannon Sharpe came in with no voice because Shannon had actually attended a game in Denver.
Okay.
Because there was some Hall of something going on.
Yeah, Mr.
right?
Bolin and the champ received their Hall of Fame rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you watched a certain game at Mile High up in a suite, right?
I was in the owner's box.
You're in the owner's box, and yet you're watching Cowboys at Jets. And my team fell behind that day 21-3, and then roared back. And what were you doing in the owner's suite?
I was yelling. And there was nothing going on the field, and people was wondering why I was yelling.
But that's normal in my house.
I was yelling because the Jets were beating the brakes off the Cowboys.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I kind of lost my boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. It happens. But Skip, see, the thing is, it's because of him, Ernestine, is that he makes it so easy for you to root for the team that he root against the team that he's rooting for.
Of course.
Because he goes ridiculous overboard with it.
You have no idea.
It's not like the Cowboys know, well, you know what? Skip's got Hazel in his arm. Let's score a touchdown here.
Right, and then but then I say to him, I try to talk reason. Skip, do you think that these guys want to lose? Do you think they want to play and they say, I'm going to lose? I don't care. I go, they don't want to lose. They go in thinking they're going to win. There's no talking to them.
Okay, but she always says to me, it's not your fault. You know, I say, well, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. That's my fault.
You didn't know? How did the guys didn't know they were losing?
So now he thinks he should be in Vegas because he can pick it all right and make a lot of money.
There is nothing. So right now I'm just wondering, what am I going to do on Sunday? I have to play on this.
What happens if the Cowboys lose Sunday?
I'm thinking about getting a room at Mr. C's.
This is a huge
This is a big one. Yeah. This is hotel night.
Mm-hmm. Skip, that's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
He should be ashamed.
You got your wife's on TV saying, you know what, I'm afraid to come to my own home and do normal things that a loving wife should be able to do.
But just live.
Yes. And you acting crazy because of Cowboys.
I think I'm going to do a second book, and it's just going to be about cowboy jinxes. That's what it's going to be.
See, her favorite line to me is, do you think wearing that T-shirt or holding that dog will affect a game at Soldier Field in Chicago on a Thursday night? Yes, I do.
And if I happen to walk into the room and they just scored, he makes me stand there and I can't leave the room.
What happened last night?
Yeah. Right.
She happened to walk in. I'm just out of the blue.
Yeah.
She brought my dinner.
I brought your
right?
dinner as a good
and it
wife
was like
does.
the second quarter of the game that we bet a case on. It's at Milwaukee versus LeBron. And all of a sudden, 3-ball, bam, 3-ball, Giannis from like 30 feet away, bam.
And he says,
she starts
maybe
to walk
you
away,
should
and I said, you know what, maybe you should sit down for a second.
I'm not staying for the rest of the game.
I have things to do.
I have things to do, like a life.
So I want everybody out there to understand the elation and mostly deflation that I've had to go to, because there's never been a season, to your original point, like this one. Because remember, they get 3 patsies to start off with, and you kept saying they're beating nobody.
Right.
But they beat them badly. They look like world beaters, and all of a sudden, New Orleans happened. And then 31-3 down to Aaron Rodgers happened, and 21-3 down to the Jets happened. They'd lost, 4 in a row, and Sam Darnold had mono and came back, and all of a sudden
Minnesota happened, Chicago happened.
It's just excruciating. The pain of it is insufferable.
Loved it.
And then we had that stretch of at Patriots, Bills on Thanksgiving, and then Mitchell Trubisky.
It's insufferable for me.
I
forget about that.
I got it, but the painful truth of all this is, at 7-7, all they have to do is go win at Philadelphia, and they're in the playoffs.
Ernestine, what if your team, you have a team, and playing his team, and your team wins? Can you celebrate?
No, I have to. Even when I liked Kawhi, when he was still my guy and it wasn't his guy, I would have to go in my room and say, wow, that was
true.
great. Because he would be mad at me.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't even sit still.
You're out of the house.
True. I'd be bounced out. Hazel could stay and I'd be bounced out. So there's no living. Part 2 on the book.
You're way worse. I thought I was bad.
No.
But you're way worse than I am.
All I know is you deserve an amazing Christmas gift. You have a lot of ground to make up here.
Ernestine,
It needs to be very good to her.
I love you.
I love you too, Skip.
Sometimes, huh?
We'll see on Sunday. That'll be the
Right, exactly. We'll see if you come home this Sunday night or not.
Ernestine, you should have held off on that I love you till after the game on Sunday.
Shannon, Bel Air, get the extra room ready.
Skip, that's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not.
No, you come on, man.
He's not even ashamed.
She's like, I got to go grocery store shopping 14 times.
You need to up the shopping, Annie, and go to a better store than
I know,
Ralph's.
Tiffany maybe, not
Exactly.
Get Ralph's, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Hey, an important reminder for everybody, Ernestine's book is out now, available on Amazon. A fabulous holiday gift this season, perfect stocking stuffer. Again, balls, how to keep your relationship alive when you live with a sports-obsessed guy. You are the expert. Thanks so much for being here.
Jen, for having me.
Congratulations on the book.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
No mercy.
When previewing Sunday's Cowboys-Eagles face-off, Hall of Famer Michael Irvin said on the radio he'd take Dak Prescott over Carson Wentz because of the leadership Dak has shown on and off the field. Irvin said he's heard players respond well in the locker room to Dak, but not necessarily the case with Wentz in Philly. Shannon, do you agree with that?
Well, let the record clearly show Michael Irvin would take any quarterback from the Dallas Cowboys over any Eagles quarterback. We know Michael loves his Cowboys, and rightfully so. I love my Broncos, and I root for the Ravens. So let's just go ahead and get that out there.
Right, that's fair.
But, Skip, it does seem to be, because we haven't seen any reports come out of Dallas that Dak is a poor leader. Where we have seen reports coming out of Philadelphia saying Wentz is a poor leader, and he's even addressed it personally, says, I need to do a better job. I think what led this, Skip, is that Nick Foles did take a team to the Super Bowl. And the difference is that Carson Wentz was the number 2 pick in the draft. They moved heaven and earth to get him.
They did.
And remember, I said the thing about what made Tom Brady such a great leader is that Tom Brady did not come in with fanfare. He was a 6th-round draft pick. So he had to start out hanging out with the guys that were also 6th round, 7th rounder, free agent draft picks. Dak Prescott was not highly touted. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round draft pick. Dak Prescott had to blend in. So he knows what it's like to be one of the lesser-tier guys, looked at as a lesser-tier guy. So he was able to gravitate. Walking to him, walked in there and said, I'm the guy. They moved heaven and earth to get me, so y'all need to recognize what I am. Now, here it is, Skip, I'm hurt. Everybody, when you hurt, let me tell you, I don't care who you are. When you hurt, you're a forgotten thought because you can't help us win no games. Nick Foles, our guy. Nick Foles, let's go, Foles. Do that thing, Foles. We're going to build a shrine for you, too, over here to show you how much we love what you're doing.
Didn't he back it up?
Yes. And so Carson Wentz is seeing that. He walking by a locker, and they got shrines up to the back, my backup. How that's going to make him feel? But still, however that might make you feel, you can't behave in the manner in which he was behaving in because some of his teammates say he would walk around like he didn't stink.
That is true.
Even that being said, I would take him, but he has work to do because if guys don't like you, they're less likely to play hard for you.
True. What did Orlando Scandrick tell us? He played for the Cowboys and the Eagles recently. He said Dak Prescott is a natural-born leader. I just don't think Carson Wentz is. I listened to him mic'd up at Washington, the game they just won.
Yeah.
And his interaction with the teammates, it was forced. It was like he's trying harder. I don't think you can try to be a leader.
No.
You either are or you're not. Shannon Sharpe, I think you are a natural-born leader.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz has to do it with his performance more than his verbal actions.
Right.
He is clearly not the leader Dak is.
Right.
Does he have more ability than Dak? Yeah, he does. He's got a bigger arm. He's a little bigger. He's
probably a little more mobile.
A little bit more mobile. But again, the intangibles all go to the Dallas quarterback.
And intangibles are big, when it comes. See, Skip, the quarterback position, just by the position, just by the salary, people tend to say, okay, that guy, and he needs to, that's why they say that guy needs to be CEO-like. Yep. Because guys are going to gravitate towards him for the position and the amount of money that he makes. When he's bad at the leadership, more times than not, guess what your team's going to be? Bad.
Gotta leave it here, guys.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.